I told you, and I told you 1,000 times, and I'll tell you 1,000 more times. The managers, the promoters, the networks, and more importantly, the fighters will make the fans look absolutely silly every single time. I told you this 1,000 times over. Be loyal to the sport of boxing. Be loyal to the fighters second, and never be loyal to the managers, the promoters, and the networks. Be a fan of the sport of boxing first. Be a fan of the fighters second. Put an end to it right there. Don't be a fan of anything else, because it will all disappoint you and make you look absolutely silly. As I told you guys, it made absolutely no sense for the undefeated, now 2-division world champion, Mexican Ecuadorian superstar boxer, David Benavidez, to not take the fight with former WBA super middleweight world champion, British superstar boxer, Takimg Smith, on the undercard of Artur Beterbiev Dmitry Bivol trilogy. I told you it made no sense. But here you silly people came out here and y'all started talking about how David Benavidez, 30 wins, no loss, no draw, 24 wins by way of knockout, 28 years of age, 6'2" with a 75-inch arm reach. After he defeated David Morrell in February, unanimous decision. I told you guys that he should have took the fight with Takimg Smith. But when he showed up to the Artur Beterbiev Dmitry Bivol rematch that Bivol won to become undisputed at light heavyweight. Then he didn't stay for the whole fight with His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh, and he left. Y'all applauded it and talked about how he didn't need His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh because he's being loyal to the premier boxing champion, better known as PBC, and founder Al Heyman. Right? Takimg Smith represents a great fight. 31 wins, 2 losses, no draw, 22 wins by way of knockout. He only lost to Artur Beterbiev, the former undisputed light heavyweight champion, and Saul Canelo Alvarez, 2 guys David Benavidez wants to fight for his legacy. His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh and Riyadh season offered David Benavidez a fight with Takimg Smith for the chance as the co-main event to the trilogy for Artur Beterbiev, Dmitry Bivol, and he gets the winner. And his manager, Samson Lickowicz, and the fans applauded him not taking the fight, forcing Bivol to be stripped of the WBC title. The World Boxing Council, President Mauricio Suleiman, board of 32 members, stripped Dmitry Bivol to elevate David Benavidez. He didn't take the fight with Takimg Smith because y'all said that he was being loyal to the PBC and Al Heyman and he didn't need Turki Al-Sheikh. Well, guess what? Once again, you guys have been slapped in the face again and look silly again. Because guess what? Now David Benavidez has done all of that. He's done all of that only to come to the point where he's going to fight now British superstar title contender Anthony Yarde, who is 27 wins, 3 losses, no draw, 24 wins by way of knockout at 33 years of age, in November on the undercard of the November showdown between Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr. in Riyadh season in Saudi Arabia. So now they're looking to make the trilogy on that card. So that card could be still headlined. Get this. by Artur Benavidez and Dmitry Bivol. The trilogy. So he's still going to be on the undercard of Artur Benavidez and Dmitry Bivol trilogy, right? Only not fighting Caleb Smith, but to fight Anthony Yarde. And respect and kudos and hats goes off to Anthony Yarde. But you could have fought Caleb Smith in a higher profile fight and guarantee yourself the winner of Artur Benavidez, Dmitry Bivol. Now you got to hope if Bivol wins, because him and Artur Benavidez are not happy with the situation, and Bivol just got ordered to fight a mandatory. So now they have to pay the mandatory step aside so that he can fight the trilogy. And you're going to fight a lesser accomplished and established fighter in Yarde, who's had some great fights but came up short, opposed to fighting Caleb Smith, who is the mandatory as well for the WBA title. You could have fought him, eliminated him, and then fought the winner. Now you're going to fight Anthony Yarde on this card all the way in November when you fought in February. So that would be, you're going to be out the ring for 9 months. Make it make sense. And now you're still going to Riyadh season. You're still going to Saudi Arabia, and you're still going to be under the thumb of Turki Al-Sheikh. And see, when the fans came out talking about he don't need Turki Al-Sheikh, he being loyal to Al Haymon, I told you there is no such thing, because the PBC does not have a budget with Amazon. There's no consistency there. Y'all gonna get it one way or another. Be a fan of the sport of boxing first, a fan of the fighter second, and stop being a fan of networks and promotional companies. Period. So what happened to the loyalty to the PBC and Al Haymon that y'all talked about? See, David Benavidez, you had Samson Lickowitz, who said that they made him a lucrative offer to fight Caleb Smith in Riyadh season, and they turned it down, only to turn around to go to Riyadh season and fight Anthony Yarde for what I'm sure is a lesser offer. Make it make sense. And that's all I got for y'all. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. It's your boy Blue signing off. I'm gone. Peace.